New York. I had to put a little party song on for y'all, man. Because this is going to be a promotional party kind of conversation tonight. I got some dynamic brothers in the building, yo. What? Hey. Yeah. We got black and gold in the building, baby. All right. Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Bill Foster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. And we appreciate you all for coming in with us this Monday. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody is staying safe, doing what you have to do during this COVID time, this pandemic in our lives. This is something that we never thought we would experience, but it is what it is, and it's happening in our world today. So with that being said, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I will ask these gentlemen later, how they feel about the pandemic and stuff. The one thing about Real Talk Chronicles, we're going to talk about everything. These gentlemen I have with me tonight are pioneers in the promotional game. I will call them legends. They've been promoting this just as long as I have or more. And, they have been consistent. A lot of times when we talk about consistency, even myself, I have a promotional background. For those who don't know, I've jumped in and out of the game. And there's a certain level of excellence and professionalism that comes with it. But these brothers have been consistent. And, there are a lot of different promoters out here. Shout out to all the promoters that are watching tonight. This is just a segment in Real Talk Chronicles that I do. And I just wanted to, because I was talking to these brothers so much, I just said, let me give them their flowers while they are here. And, still so many of you, I will, honestly, I promise, I will have conversations with you guys in lieu of conversing about your historical past. But right now, I'm going to give these brothers their blessings. Shout out to the old, shout out to the new. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I have Daryl Hicks with me tonight, and I have Mike Greene with me tonight of Black and Gold. One thing I want to say, for those that are watching and you want to share this, if you're on YouTube, that's fine. That's great. I'd love to hear your comments and questions for these gentlemen. If you're on Facebook, if you're a friend of mine, or you're a friend of Mike Greene's, Ronnie Greene's, as he is on or Black and Gold or Daryl Hicks, as you're watching me now, there's a share button on the bottom. If you want to share to your page and like a watch party, then do that. That's why everybody can see it. So tonight, I have two brothers, like I said, that have been promoting for years. They are my friends. I talk to them often. We have lost people due to this pandemic together. We'll talk about that too, but we have partied together, and due to a party, we have developed a friendship, and that is just, it's a brotherhood. And this promotional game, for those that don't know, you develop a relationship and a brotherhood with other people that you call promoters. But right now, we've reached that pinnacle of success where we're event planners. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is what we do. We're event planners. Promotions is something that, I think is a layman term, but when we all have done so good and lucrative in this business and made so many people happy and enjoyed it. And not that we had to, and I'll ask them tonight too, and maybe you can ask them, why did they do that? What made them promote? So without further ado, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. Also, just to let everybody out there know, in the metropolitan area, tomorrow it's a special edition. I have Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams on, talking about his mayoral candidacy. I am working on trying to get other people that are running for office to come in. So trust and believe that Real Talk will be interviewing people. Wednesday, I'm here with Kevin Branzetti, and we will be discussing Mr. Hill that got killed, and the police officer thought he saw something shiny, and he shot him. Come on, how many times are people of color still getting shot for reasons? And I think they let the officer out with a $500,000 bond, $5 million bond, something like that. But we'll discuss that. Without further ado, everybody, I want to introduce my guest tonight. They go by Black and Gold, but their real names are Daryl Hicks and Mike Greene. First and foremost, Daryl, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
Not much, Bill. Good to see you. Good to be here. With all this that we've been going through over the last year, we done lost a lot of good brothers and sisters. So it's just good to be in the numbers right now, and sitting here with you, sitting here with my partner. Let's have a good evening, man.
Yeah, let's rock it up. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my man, my brother too. They call him Mike Greene. Mike, what's going on, my man?
What's up, my brother Bill? It's always good to join you. I watch Real Talk Chronicles all the time, and I recommend that to all the Black and Gold family to check him out. He talks to really prominent people who have great subjects, cover every aspect of life. But as always, Bill, we talk all the time. I haven't seen you in probably a year. It's good to see your face. I talked to you on the phone the other day. Yeah. And, my partner, too, it's good to see him. I talk to him late at night all the time, right, D?
Hey, Bill, last time I saw you, was it at your birthday party at the Corners?
Yeah, it probably was. It was definitely was at the corner, man.
Physically together? I mean, we spoke several times, but the last time we was physically together, that was at your birthday party, man.
Yes, you're right. Because either it was at the corner or it was up in the Bronx at the secret location. We had the little cookout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. You're telling too much now.
Yeah. Sometimes we gotta just keep it amongst like super duper family. Shout out to everybody that's watching. We see you all in the building. Jay, Lanier, what's going up? Tony, how are you? Chris Love, definitely. Jay Button said my mentor.
C+.
Yeah. Chris Love
is in the building.
Yeah, Chris Love is in the building, baby. We got a lot of brothers and people in the building, baby. Shouting out to you. The lines is popping. Martha is chiming in on YouTube. Chris Payne is on YouTube shouting out Black and Gold. That's what it is. So
share it out to the Black and Gold family.
That's what's up. Appreciate the Black and Gold
party right now. We're having a party right now.
This is a party. This is a celebration of life. This is a celebration of longevity. And like I said, there are so many different. Chris Greene is in the building. There are so many people that have done what we have done, or what you guys have done. But I just thought it was just so just rewarding for me to give you guys your blessings, because like I said, you guys have shown a level of consistency. There are people that have promoted and been hot for a few years and jump out, because we could talk about that, D and Mike. The life expectancy of the let's say not the life expectancy, but let's say the
business.
Yes, your best years, may be a good 5-6 years for some promoters. You know what I'm saying? Some promoters have been around for a long time, but you guys have stayed consistency for years. So I'm gonna start with you, Daryl, and then Mike. You can chime in all you want to. Hey, Phyllis. Phyllis is in the building. Quinn is in the car. Frank, what's up, Big Frank? How are you? Raw Silk is in the building, man. They in here, baby. We got shout out to your people, man.
Frank,
exactly.
Frank and Derek, Raw Silk.
Yeah, Raw Silk in the villa. Phyllis Spencer, fabulous Phyllis in the motto. You love yourself, Phyllis. Quentin Carr's in the building. So we got people in the building. Howie's in the building. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I ask you all, please subscribe to it on YouTube. Share it. We got Carlos coming in from YouTube. He said, Bill, go back with those gentlemen 30 years. Carlos S. He says, what's up, Daryl and Mike?
In Florida.
Listen, everybody, people coming in and chiming with y'all, man. They rocking with y'all. So yeah. So Daryl, that's what we talking about. So Daryl and Mike, Daryl start off, and then Mike, you chime in.
Okay.
Daryl, tell me how did Black and Gold ever come to fruition? What made you? How did it start?
Well, I'm not going to start right at Black and Gold, because when I get to the Black and Gold piece of it, you're a part of it, Bill. Okay, so let me go a little bit before Black and Gold. I was doing my thing for quite a while as Daryl Hicks. At 18, when I graduated from high school, I rented the Celebrity Club on 125th Street, $2,500. That's right after they remodeled it and put the Hawaii look in there and put all the palm trees and everything in there, and did parties at the Sky Dive, the 44th floor of the World Trade Building, if y'all remember that spot. Then it was a Lego dance hall in the 40s that I did something. But Mike and I, and at the time, Mike was doing this thing with Gene Pendergrass, So God bless. At the time, Mike and I decided to get together and do. We went to college together to do a college Mid-Hudson reunion of Marist College.
That's how you and Mike met. You and Mike met through college.
Yeah, we met up at college, up at Marist College in the late 90s, early 80s. We was up there.
That was late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Okay, I got a little nigga. Okay, so we decided to do a Mid-Hudson reunion with Vassar College, Marist College, New Paltz, and Dutchess Community. And at the time, we was rocking out at the Country Club on 86th Street. And for those of y'all that don't know, that was one of the most fabulous place in New York at the time. Mike and I putting it together, and we didn't have any name. And Mike said, "Yo, in order for us to do a party here, man, we're gonna have to get with somebody who got a name, a production name." And who was that somebody? It was Kenny Dinkins and Bill Foster, Nubian Gold. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Respect.
And we did that, and after that, there was no turning back. We joined on our first party. We probably had 600 to 700 people in the place, and we just kept it moving from there. And the next party, Mike and I sat down and said, "Hey, man, we need to come up with our own production name." And love of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and both of us was Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So, and the Black and Gold was our Nubian colors. So that's how the Black and Gold came to be.
And we also did our very first flyer in those colors, Black and Gold. So that's why that stuck.
Right. That's awesome. And that's a beautiful thing. See, everybody you hit listening to historical stuff. I see I got my man. Is that Bruce Boyd? I think in the wings. What's up, Bruce? Yo, Bruce, I'm going to bring you in. Just hold tight.
Oh, man.
It's a pleasure that you're here, Bruce. I'm going to bring you in, and I might let you kind of co-host this thing with me. Just give me some time, brother. Just lay in the wings with me if you do so, okay? Peace and blessings to that. But I just want to shout out everybody that's watching and chiming in. And like I said, we got Julian Allen on the YouTube, Larson Richardson. He said, "What's up, cuz?" From KC. Yeah. So listen, everybody. Yes.
I want to add something to what Daryl just said from the beginning, the origin of Black and Gold. Like he said, we both known each other from college. Daryl then, when we got out of school, Daryl went to Florida for X amount of years. I rocked out in New York City when I came back to New York with Gene Pendergrass. Then by the miracle of God, we got back together, like you said, started a reunion, put something together with you and Kenny Dinkins. And let's give big shout out to our brother, Kenny Dinkins, who's no longer with us. And we can't forget him. And then we started rocking out at the Country Club, like our very first party. We had like 600 people on a whim, all of us getting together. And then shortly after that, right, D, we moved to Tavern on the Greene and had to, stop selling tickets at about 1,200 people. We can't even sell no more because it would have been.
That's what we had DJ Ace DJ in that party, and Ace was on BLS. We called Ace and Donker. Well, remember we had to call Ace and Donker and tell them, when you go on the air tonight, tell people if they don't have tickets, don't even bother to come down.
It's only over 1,000 people. It was unbelievable. And then even let's not forget, God bless the dead,
My
Rudy.
man Rudy Ortiz.
And Rudy and whatever.
We're going to talk about that too, because I want y'all to tell how Rudy got down with you guys. Because for so many years, and this is your story, and this is my flowers, my blessings to you guys. I have this podcast, and like you said, Mike, I try to be as informative as I want to. But the bottom line is, as much as I can, I will try to show homage to all the people, like this brotherhood and sisterhood, because we can't forget the women that are promoted too in this field. But I want to show love, and I wanted to give back. And you guys, like you said, no disrespect to any promoters out here right now, like the Lincolns and the Melvins and the Sparkles. You guys and Jimmy, you guys all deserve your flowers, and I will give them to you. Exactly. It's just this happened that I was conversing with these brothers frequently, a lot, and I just wanted to just give it to them. And I just said, let me just give it to them right now, and they will tell you, excuse me, from a promotional standpoint, me reinventing myself from, like you said, the Nubian Gold to the 4-star entertainment, because this is the one time when I can be the 4-star general tonight. I can shout out little 4-star, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just give a little love for the 4-star tip. But the bottom line is, shout out to everybody that's party with all of us. But this is really about Black and Gold tonight. And like I said, I got my man Bruce Boyd coming in, PMB. We're gonna definitely let him chop it up with me. He's gonna co-host a little bit with this because it's a blessing to see him. I just want to give everybody shouting out. Bakari is in the building. It's just so good to see all of you, man. So, Mike and Daryl, you guys, because a lot of guys don't even know y'all guys play ball too, man.
Yes.
There was one thing that I wish we would have did. We would have had a promotional basketball game. That would have been great, because a lot of us all played ball. You know what I'm saying? You guys played ball out of Bronx. Mike, Eddie, and myself played ball out of Harlem. You had the Sparkle people. I don't know who else really rocked out and played ball. Like we see Will Trax was a ball player too. You know what I'm saying? But this is generations after us. But like we rocked out. Like we really, we were, So you guys are doing Daryl, you started yourself. And Mike, and a lot of people don't really know your history as a DJ. Talk about that.
Oh, okay. Well, going back to like the early 70s, when I used to be a road guy for DJ Hollywood, carrying his records, being in the booth with him, that was my tutelage in learning how to spin records, program music, and what to do to rock a crowd. And eventually, when the crowd was light, either early before the party got hot or late at night before it closed, Hollywood would let me spin and mess up some things. Then I perfected my skills when I was upstate in college with Darryl at Marist College. We started doing on-campus parties, and things was, rocking. And then when I came back to New York, got with Gene Pendergrass, rocking out with DJ Ace or Jonathan Donker, Reggie Wells. They too would let me play, be an opening guy or whatever, once again, honing my skills in major parties in New York. Then when me and Daryl decided to put together some stuff, and he was also rocking at Celebrity Club, he brought me in there and said, yo, you got to spend the night. So was doing that. And then we started, when we put it together, all the other clubs, whether we was on Broadway 86 or Country Club or some of these other places, I would rock out with the main guys. Like you say, our number one guys from day one was Hollywood and DJ Ace, Jonathan Donker, and people like that. Then we moved on to the great guys of Chris Love, E. Kim, Danny D, everybody. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but they all rocked out at our parties, going for days. But I did that for years, and then it became too much. I had to put more of my energy in promoting, but I still will do my corporate clients or weddings here and there. But some people forget I was the DJ first before I was a promoter.
Yes,
let me tell y'all a true story. So, as long as we had Mike, we didn't have to worry about a DJ being on time. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right, and then like we did 86. I don't know if y'all remember. Everybody talk about these week parties and what people do today. They in these weekly places that you put 50, 75 people in there and it's swollen. We did Wicked Wednesdays for 4 years. Right. On a Wednesday night, after Grand Song Party. The first year we did it at 86 on the Country Club. The first year we did the Cotton Club. And I went to Red Alert and I asked Red, I said, I want you to be my house DJ. And Red said to me, Daryl, that's when he was on Hot 97 and was strictly hip hop. He said, I'm hardcore hip hop. And for the direction that you're going in, I don't think you want to use me right now.
Right.
Okay. So we did the country, we did the Cotton Club. The next year we moved it to the Country Club. And the following 2 years, we moved it to Broadway International on 96th Street. We was getting 300 people in there every Wednesday night. At the time, every Wednesday, we was doing a different entertainment.
Yes.
You know, some nights we would have comedy, some night we would have R&B, but we would give you a different entertainment every night. And another true story, the first time I ever went to hire E. Kim told me, nah, Daryl, I'm not ready. E. Kim told me, nah, I'm not ready. And I remember when Red finally came to us, that was when we was doing Harry's.
Right.
And that's the first, it was that Halloween party. We used to do a Halloween party, and we would give away to the best dressed person. We would give them a free trip for 2 hour ski trip. Okay, Red Alert, the first party he ever DJ'd for us was at Harry's. And then years later, E. Kim came to us and said, yo, we're ready. And around that time, that's when we had Chris Love and Hollywood. Hollywood always been a mainstream. But we had Chris Love, Hollywood, and we added E. Kim. And we rolled for about a good 15 years of doing trips with just those 3 DJs.
You can't beat that combination.
And why would you? Why would you? You know, what's so funny, the beautiful thing that you guys are telling the story, because, you know, like you said, we had a foundation of all of us together at the Pulse, and we were doing the Pulse, and that was such a great look, you know, and like for us to embark on a world and bring happiness to people, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys, I'll be transparent. Mike, you know, shout out to Mike Eddie. Like, I never wanted to do anything like bring comedy. Like, you guys have brought comedy, shows, artists, everything. You've done it all.
Showcase.
Like, yes, I've always wanted to just give them quality events. You guys have always done that, but you always, because a lot of times promoters, event planners can get pigeonholed and doing just comedy, just doing shows, just doing this, and then they can't go back and just throw parties. Just give me some insight on why you guys have been so successful to just do a party. You can do shows, you can do craft fest, you can do ski trips. You have done it all and not missed a beat. Give us some insight on that, either one of you guys.
Let us just say, you know, for a long time, people known us to be a threesome. You know, our part, you know, Rudy Marquis is no longer with us, but you know, we a lot of things that we did. Originally, the Crab Fest was the first trip we did. It was an idea that was originated from Dwayne Francis.
Data in the house. Shout out.
Data
Respect.
in the house. All right.
Right.
One love. He came to me. They was doing a trip that they was going out of Virginia Beach, a 1-day trip. His big brother, Mike Francis, him and I met down in Florida when I was living in Florida. And I gave a party down in Florida, and he was like, yo, man, you need to meet my younger brothers, man. They be doing things up in New York. They doing a little trip that they do. So when Dwayne came to me and said, hey, man, why don't we do a crab fest? He was talking about like a 1-day trip. And then I was like, yo, do a crab fest. Yeah, you know, we stay overnight. Yo, we do the spirit of Washington while we down there. Yo, and we stay another night. We do a park. We do the King Park thing to me. And later, Dwayne told me, man, after talking to me, he said, man, this man done messed up my whole plans, man, because I went in a whole nother direction. You know, and that lasts for quite a while. Our first trip, we did 11 buses. And on the first trip, we brought in the brother that you said you're going to let host we bought in P&B Production, which was Bruce, Rodney, the brothers,
Raphael,
Richie and
Yeah.
all of them, the brothers. We
Richie,
bought
Richie.
them in. Okay, and they was with us on the first trip we did, and after that, it just was Gator and Black and Gold, and we did that for 3 years. And then when we split off, the next year we did 18 buses.
Mhm.
The next year,
I remember.
the year
Yeah.
we split, I'm not sure what the numbers they did, but Black and Gold did.
It was about the same.
And I think we both did. So if you could imagine, if we would have stayed together, that would have been a 30 bus trip. Okay, because we did 16 the next year, and I believe they did 16.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, before that, the Craft Fest wasn't nothing like what we was doing.
Right.
We just changed the whole script what we was doing. And I think, Mike, what was we in year 6 when we decided to do R&B?
Right.
And the first people we had was Menavision. We had
Mhm. Case.
Big
Who's
Les.
a big time TV star.
Okay,
Shout out to our
Big
sister
Les
Big Les. Yeah.
was on the comedy that opened up for that show.
Yep.
And the first 3 years, as far as comedian, we would take Rob Stapleton and we would talk to him and we would go over and he would tell us who he was going to bring. And then after the first 3 years, the next 15 years, talent sold us down. Talent went everywhere with us. Every trip we went on in the same way. Like I said, the DJs we had was Chris Love, E. Kim, DJ Hollywood. We had guest appearance here. I think we took Tommy Allen. God bless the day. We took Tommy Allen, Ace, Danny D, Mel Star, Knuckles.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's so funny? It was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that we work with so many different DJs. And I've told people sometimes, I was like, at a certain time, if I didn't work with the DJ, then I really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We had no problems giving DJs. And the one thing that I can give you guys a big shout out on is that you had no problems help building people's brand. And with that being said, I just want to finish shouting out everybody that's on here. Monique Wright on the YouTube, Darlin, Robinson, Martha Hunter. She says, I was on the first Craft Fest, but she was a bus captain. Shout out. That's what's up. Cleo is in the building. 540 Jam. Yeah. Makari's in the building.
Blue Ice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Blue Ice. Shout out to Makari. That's my dude. Such a humble brother.
Bill,
yes.
Speaking on DJs, I don't want this to slip. Respect to all those names Daryl just said. And one thing I will never forget, because I've never had nobody else say this to me than Daryl. Like Daryl said, DJ E. Kim turned us down twice because he didn't want to wreck our flow. He wanted to see how we get down. And he said, no, I'll hire somebody else. I'll come to the party because, I don't want to mess up your flow. You guys are doing really good things. And I totally respect that. No disrespect to any other DJ. You always, as a promoter, going to get somebody hollering at you, and that's cool. But this guy, we went twice. He said, nah, man, I'm not ready. And yet he's one of the hottest guys out there and didn't want to do it. That's mad respect, and I will never forget that.
Well, that's what makes you respect him. And shout out to
our team. Where Chris Hollywood made our team even bigger, And same thing, Chris did the same thing. He was rocking with us early on when we was down at Harry's, and he was doing Tony Brooks. Then he came with us, and blew up doing Gator and Black and Gold and all the promoters in the city. So that's like real respect, real history. All of them, Chris Lovino got more than 30 years in the game, spinning records, and still relevant.
Steve Plus.
Yes.
I used to go up there to the Sugar Shack. Right? That's what people think.
Oh my God!
Or the Sugar Shack packing the place, and the DJ was C Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's so funny? Like you said, Jay Button said Black and Gold staff was very supportive. I'm going to talk about that. Hollywood is in the building. Shout out to the legend DJ Hollywood. Hollywood, baby.
What you say?
Gwen Mosley is in the building. She said Black and Gold family is in the house. Our customer service at the Black and Gold door and parties were excellent. Met a lot of good people. Thanks, Daryl and Mike. Rest in peace to Rudy. But let me just hold on. Let me just say this, everybody. It's Real Talk Chronicles. We got Hollywood in the building. We got iconic people in the building. Chris Love. Shout out to the YouTube family. Darryl, I see you in the building. But the one thing I wanted to say about you two guys too, and Holly, let me know if you want to say anything about these brothers. Cleo, we got you, brother. 540 jams all the way. And also too, like they said, the black and gold staff was powerful. I'm going to talk about that. But the one thing that you guys have definitely done, you've helped nurture, build other organizations. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in another organization that you helped blow up, and they were very prominent at a time in this game. Shout out to my man Bruce Boyd coming in the building. Brother Bruce, what's up, baby? How you feeling,
Yo.
Bruce.
What's going on, y'all? D. Hicks, Mike Greene. What's up, man?
So Bruce, let me ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't know, we go on to have our professional careers in law enforcement and stuff like that, where sometimes we had to fall back and do what we do. But, please give the listening audience, the Real Talk Chronicles family, the Black and Gold family, what Black and Gold meant to you, PNB, when you started out and the success in which you guys did. Give us some insight into that, please.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
So the story is, a lot of people don't know, me and D. Hicks, I met Daryl Hicks at the Bank of New York, where we both worked at. I was new there, and we met playing basketball. It's funny you talk about playing basketball. So anyway, Daryl gave me a flyer to one of his parties. He goes, yo, you need to come out, whatever the case may be. Daryl, I forgot what party that was, but the party was like every other Black and Gold party, insane. So it kind of got in my mind thinking, I'm like, yo. So I asked Daryl and my crew, we was trying to do a little party scene. And so, Daryl and, Mike and, was giving me little pointers on what to do. So I remember our first party. I said, Daryl, I'm gonna put this party together, man. I need you to come out. That's like cool. So Bill, I made these. Yo, Bill, it was these paper orange flyers that I had. It was our first party. It was San Ramos. So Bill and Mike, I know you know about this. I see y'all at work that next morning. I get him the flyer. And Daryl looked at the flyer and said, brother, we're gonna get you some real flyers.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill. I said, do you have any more of these? He said, yeah. He gave me a handful of them, and I dropped them in the garbage. and I said to him, hey, Bill, I said to him, what are you doing after work, man? Let me take you to Lino Press, man. Get you some
Lino Press.
Shout out to Lino Press, and shout out to Cliff Noise.
Yeah. So that was the beginning. Our first party was at San Ramos, but I will tell you that Black and Gold, Daryl Hicks, without his tutelage, without his support, without his constant support of PNB, we would have not have had nowhere near the success that we had coming up in the game. So, like, what a mentor to have coming up in this game. Not even realizing who Daryl was when I met him, but I still found out, and he kind of took us under the wing, and we just took off from there. So the brotherhood was a beautiful thing with everyone, man. I just enjoyed, supporting each other and going to everybody's parties and giving out our flyers and doing what we did, man. But Black and Gold was the reason that PNB. Matter of fact, Daryl told me on the low, he goes, yo, man, y'all did a ballroom before Black and Gold did.
The toy factory,
Roosevelt, right?
23rd Street.
The 205th Avenue Club. And again, but all the thing that, whatever accomplishments we had, Bill, it was because of the tutelage and that mentorship of Daryl Hicks. And something that you said, Bill, like Black and Gold, man, and God bless, sleep in peace, Rudy Marquis. Daryl was never afraid, man, to change the narrative. Most of us stayed with parties. Now they did parties, ski trips, concerts, this and that, and they kept it moving. So I always appreciated that hustle to this very day, and still doing it, man. So big shout out, man. Daryl Hicks, I love you to death, big brother. Always will. Mike Greene, I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all very, very much for what y'all brought to the game and what y'all still bring to the game.
Yeah, and that's so funny. Let me tell you something. I see one of the Pasal brothers is on. He said, "What's up, Big Bruce?" He's on YouTube. Hollywood definitely said. He said spend a lifetime with these brothers. Hollywood is the only person right now. If Hollywood, if you ever want to come on and say something about these brothers right here, you can co-host with me too. Everybody else just fall back. I can't let y'all all come in because this is about these brothers. And right now, Cleo said, yo, PMB in the house. Exactly. Bakari said, he said, what's good, Bruce? You my peeps for life. Lanier, he said, Lanier Rogers is like Bruce for life. That's that C-bond, baby. That's that C-bond. What's up, Yolanda? How are you? Yolanda Padilla is in the building. Listen, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. If you like it, share it. This is what we're doing right now. Let me tell you something. These guys know the hardest thing that I've ever done right now is the easiest thing I've ever done is promote. The hardest thing I did is try to bring positivity. Like I said, tomorrow I have a special edition with Brooklyn Borough President for all the people that are still living in the New York City, the 5 boroughs. Eric Adams is running for mayor. If you want to hear what he has to say, ask him. I will be reaching out, getting some more people to try to bring them in. And so you can ask him. I had Alan Bragg. It's an open seat. Cy Vance is giving up the Manhattan District Attorney seat. We have an open seat. I had Alan Bragg on. He is a candidate for district attorney. You can go back and look at that show. With that, what's up, Felicia? White Coco and Montgomery is in the building. Hey, Felicia, Bruce. I told you we were south of 96th Street, y'all. So everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. So we have Black and Gold in the building, celebrating these promotional icons. So let me ask you a question, Daryl and Mike, and Bruce. You can hang out with me as long as you want, brother.
Okay, cool.
You guys have, like I said earlier, have stayed the test of time. People like PMB, known as a promoter. I promoted Mike, like shout out to, like you said, Nubian Gold, Kenny and I. Then, I hooked up with Mike Eddie and we had a great run. And, Mike and I, we fell out and, we made amends and we're back on right. We're good people and it's good. We, the blessings are powerful, but we were all like there, PMB, Low Greene, you guys, Sparkle was still there. Like we were at a time. Talk about that time. Right. Talk about that time right now when promotions was excellent. And there were certain codes. Like we were the pinnacle. I mean, we learned from the Lincolns and the Melvins and the Sparkles and Jimmys. I say that to say that, but we understood, we knew what it was to nurture a party to grow from 300 people at the Pulse or 200 people and grow. And like you said, the spots you named, and then get 1,000. Because that was the pinnacle of success for a real promoter in our eye, 1,000. So tell me about the work that you guys put in and you formulated an awesome team. Talk about that, Daryl, and then Mike chime in on that.
Okay.
Well, for quite a while, we stayed downtown at Harry's. That was our home. We was known in the bottom of the Woolworth building, and it was a very elegant place. Mike and I had a kind of like a degree of elegantness to what we wanted to do and ambiance to what we wanted to do. We didn't want to just go into any places. And if you look at from Harry's to Butler's to Ilmere to Tavern on the Green, Country Club, Broadway International, the boats, the Cornucopia. Once we did the Horizon, we felt we could never go backwards and do the Spirit. Once we did the Cornucopia, we said, we can't do the Spirit no more after you give people something like this. Most of the venues, everybody up until COVID was running down there to Armenian Hall. I'm the brother who reopened that, who got people back into there. When you've been around as long as we have, people, like a lot of people, promoters today, think, oh, that's a new spot. No, man. They was rocking that out, way back when. Manhattan Center. The first time we ever went into Manhattan Center, I picked up the phone and called on Steve Gillian. Because that was Steve Gillian's house at the time. Him and Daryl, New York on the move.
Shout out to
Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson wasn't even heard of at that time. Because Joe came along with Class Action.
Exactly. Out of Houlihan.
Randy B as the DJ down at Houlihan every Wednesday. You know,
Exactly.
so
Javier.
you know, when I could get on the phone and when I could get on the phone, like me and Cleo was talking a couple of nights ago, and we could talk about stuff and like that and laugh because there was so many. You had Stan. Stan was when we got in the game. I think Stan was bigger than Sparkle at the time.
Well,
Stan
hey,
was
let me just give a shout
he
out
was
to
doing
Stan
Jones
Dennis. I
Beat,
spoke
he
to.
was doing the Greene.
Chocolate.
Hold on, D. Let me give a shout out to Stan because I give Stan his props as somebody that showed me the game coming out of Terra Nova back in the days when he was Eminem and Hot Chocolate. And a lot of
38th
people
Street.
don't know Stan. Stan was the ones that was doing, in Philly had the
Jones
Greek
Beach.
Fest. We had Jones Beach, and that was Stan Dennis' big thing. Eminem Hot Chocolate.
For years.
So Stan and people like Stan, I tell people he
You
burnt
know,
me a lot of times for that. So go ahead, Daryl, please.
when we got in the game, I mean, like you said, all due respect to the link sessions, I would be online going to the big leg contest in the Vista Hotel with Link Sessom and them having packed the boathouse, Lincoln the crew, and Jenny Holloway down at the Hilton Hotel,
Yes.
But
First Fridays, Lincoln and them would do chocolate
exactly,
singles.
chocolate singles.
Yes.
You had
Shout out to the Dodge
when
wings too. Yep.
there you
Yes,
go.
sir.
You had when we got into business, there was a lot of big promoters, Stan, Sparkle, Kenyatta was doing his thing, And the crazy thing about it, all of these cats was all Aries. So the first Saturday of April, we would all have a party. I remember one night we was at Tabby. Mike, you remember Sparkle was at Omni Hotel?
Omni Hotel.
Where was Stan? Stan was doing something. And Gator did something that night because Derek from Gator, he's an Aries.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, all of us had a successful night.
Yeah. That was the good era of promotions. Like I said, no disrespect to the people today, but when we all came out, we had first the pioneers who was just rocking everywhere. Like you said, Stan, Lincoln, Alan Rowland. Oh, we ain't even.
Shout out to Alan and Rowland. Yeah.
What about people forget about Bam Bam was rocking Bridgewater's like.
Shout out to Vern. Shout out to Mix. Yeah.
Tonight, Darryl talking about we doing a party and we put the fly out only to realize, like you said, Sparkles at Omni Park Hotel, Weird Tavern, Bridgewater's was going on. I think it was Rolling and Al was down there.
Yeah.
And Stan was doing something. We said to ourselves, oh man, we're gonna lose our shirt, man. The hottest guys in the world is on. So we had our party, like Darryl said, it was very, very, very successful. That was a lesson we learned. And me and Darryl talked about it. And Darryl said, as long as you do your own thing, you ain't got to do what everybody else doing. Don't try to go after Black and Gold or P&B crowd or 4-star. Do your thing and they will come. You start at 200, become 300, 400, 500, whatever it be, and just being unique. And that's why we've been successful because we always been unique. Still to this day, literally, and Darryl will agree with me, we the only ones who have literally every single party we ever had. We have food, right?
Yeah.
We get we promote elegant crowd, dress code, great venues, food, the greatest DJs, right? Made for a Black and Gold experience that still to this day stands the test of time. And that's a formula that we're going to always stick by. So that's a lesson that, some other people should try to adopt to, and even like say, before I finish this, one of Bruce's first parties, forget, I DJ'd there with him and Cliff.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You pay me. I think you owe me some money. that was the support we had for each other. We supported B&B. I knew that was Darryl, man. So I went down there and rocked with Cliff, and we had a great night.
Let me interject
support. Let me say something else, Bill. One thing that we did, like you might have always seen Darryl Hicks, Mike Greene, Rudy Marquis, but for maybe 10, 15 years, we would have a meeting every Wednesday.
In the Bronx, I know.
Every Wednesday. Everybody go run up in there in Glenroy's these days, right? We started meeting in Glenroy's when Glenroy's was a Spanish bar. There was no black folk going up in Glenroy's. So what happened was people knew where to catch us every Wednesday in order to give us payments for the trip. And we would have our whole staff there. And you know, you want to talk. One thing you recognize when you come to something in black and gold is the staff, because we would sit down there and school the whole staff. Everybody knew what was going on from A to Z. You know, part of this promoting game, people would want to keep stuff so close, keep stuff inside. I try to teach my team everything, because if I'm not around, if Mike's not around, I got to know my team could basically give the same answer that Mike and I give. You know, and I mean, we would be 12, 13, 14, 15 of us meeting, people coming from Brooklyn, people coming from Long Island, people coming from Queens. And we met every Wednesday for a good 15 years.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this too.
We met.
Let me just say this, Mike. Daryl. I felt, even myself, even watching you guys do that, I realized that when I developed my little 4-star team, because most of the time everybody knew it was just me in the dancing machine. Linda was with me. Then I added Mike, and then I added my boy Al. Then I added Helen and a bunch of other people. But the bottom line is, I knew my team. I never had to go near my door. Linda would hold that door down. So you are totally right, Daryl, what you're saying. When you have a staff, shout out to Gary too, because I know that was a real integral part of Black and Gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have a good staff, it's like clockwork. You know, you could just delegate and put people in certain positions, and it just runs smoothly. I just want to give some more shout outs. Big shout out to Big Keith Armstrong. He's worked with all of us.
Holding me down.
He worked with y'all, for 20 years.
Holding me down.
Hands.
Keith Armstrong is in the building. Howie Vines, exactly. Yeah, we rock Mars 2112. We definitely tore that spot up. Art Garfield is in the building. I was trying to remember the Back and Ghost party I went to. It was at the Garden.
Right.
Oh, yes. Definitely shout out to the Garden. Okay, we got Boogie Black in the building. Boogie Black, baby. Listen, Boogie, you would have really loved us back in them time, brother. We missed you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Boogie Black, one of the phenomenal entertainers in this game. And Cleo said, I thank all the promoters that helped me make 540 Jams a successful entertainment telephone line. Cleo, what you did back then, and this is real talk, everybody, what Cleo did back then is what they're doing now on the internet, right? Yes, promotional stuff. Right. Cleo started something that we was like, what? And you could, shout out to Cleo. You would tell Cleo, yo, Cleo would promote our event. He would call, because the one thing that we did back then, Daryl and Mike and Bruce, we really didn't try to step on each other's toes. But shout out to what Daryl has said on YouTube. And Monique Rice said, yo, Daryl, don't forget to cook. We got you, Monique, little sister. We got you. But listen, the one thing that we tried to do back then, we tried, and Daryl, I'm a comment on this, because you really kind of like March, definitely, like you said, the Aries is like, I kind of tried to, I used to tell Mike, yeah, let's kind of wait to see what was going on, who's coming out, because we knew Daryl was coming out at this state. Stan was doing that, like you said. And the funny thing about it is you kind of, we made the money go around. But then, like you said, Daryl, there was one time I think, we had Mike, Eddie, and I had a party in Low Greene. I think had a party with Daryl Park or somewhere. And I was like, yo, Mike, man, like, he said, yo, B. He said, you got 4-star, I got Heavenly Entertainment, we got us. We good. Don't worry about that. And then just like what Daryl said, what made me want to say that is that you had your own following. That's when you saw the success of what you really had. You nurtured. People followed you, because what Mike and I did, we had a following that became more like the civil service kind of clientele, because we both at one point worked at Transit. Then I went to PD. And then, it became that, like that civil service thing. Hollywood has said something recently. Let me just go back. Shout out to Brown Sugar. She said Madison Square Garden. Keith Armstrong said, I want to give a big shout out to D and Mike, 20 years with them. They definitely enhanced my security ticket. Club Harambe Days. Thank you all. What's happening with Big Bruce? Shout out to Gene Pendergrass. Hollywood said, just Black and Gold became the first family and still have a generation of party goers. That is totally, absolutely. Like you said, Cleo, rest in peace to Kenny Dinkins, my old partner. This is a beautiful thing. This is like almost a celebration of life. Well, one day I think in the future, I'm going to try to get as many promoters as I can on and we're just going to have just a big old Real Talk Chronicles Zoom thing. You know, it's the evolution of me.
That'd be nice.
Coming from
You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy, Bill? Mike and I sat up here. Y'all sat up here. We mentioned a lot of places. It took people to call in Madison Square Garden because, Mike, you know what? I didn't mention that when I talk about all the vineyards that we did. You haven't mentioned it. And we did Madison Square Garden for 8 years. 8 years straight. Right?
And Daryl and Mike, let me just say something. Let me just say something. Let me interject. I think doing Madison Square Garden had put you guys separate from a lot of all of us. You know what I'm saying? That was like that.
That's true.
Like a lot of us.
When we could drive down 7th Avenue, you remember the marquee, Mike?
The marquee, I got pictures. Yeah.
Said that was a black tie affair we would do. And we did it. We had Hollywood in the Terrence room. The first year we had Ace on the main floor. And after that first year, we put Chris Love there. And then we would have Tony Roberts. You remember Tony would just love to do the karaoke for us?
Yeah.
We have karaoke in the bar and grill room, and then play-by-play room. We have Jeff Fox with his band.
Right. Yes.
You know, and the other venue that we didn't mention was the Best Buy Theater.
Or Roseland.
Right.
Roseland.
Casey and JoJo and Roseland. But I definitely got to give props to Gator because that was Gator House.
Right.
Hey, Bill, can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead.
So I just want to the impact that Black and Gold had on us. When you went to a Black and Gold party, it's something I always remember. They had the most beautiful crowd, man. The most well-dressed, so that took us to that level of, I remember we used to get out things custom made because we wanted a reflection of Black and Gold. Daryl tell me all the time, man, Daryl let no one in his venue if you didn't have shoes on. Red Alert was the only one that kind of got away.
That's right.
And we took on that thing, and that all came from Black and Gold. We took pride in how our crowd looked, how everyone looked, and that was all, again, part of that tutelage and that mentorship from my man Daryl. Yeah. So we took it and we kind of ran with it. And you're right, Bill, to piggyback what you said, Madison Square Garden separated everything from everyone. Separated Black and Gold from everyone. I totally agree. I remember when Daryl first told me, he said, "Yo, B, we doing Madison Square Garden." I said, "Excuse me?" and Bruce, they ran with it. Changing that narrative. Daryl, Mike, and Rudy was never scared to jump.
Let me tell you something, Daryl and Mike, hold on for a second. Yo, Bruce, let me just say, I'm gonna stay with you on that. Let me tell you something. I've done the Roseland, we've Mars 2112, Mike and I, we've done our thing there. We've done hotels. Mike and I are the only ones that did the UN building, but like I said, when Daryl, but we only had one shot at that and then it was gone. You understand what I'm saying? But when Daryl and Mike did Madison Square Garden, the first thing you was like, what? You're doing where? You said Madison Square Garden? Where the Knicks play basketball? You know what I'm saying? But so even Bridgewater was a place that separated Al and Roland from a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That was like Bridgewater. The name Bridgewater made you dress up. You know what I'm saying? Like Madison Square Garden made you dress up. Like Roseland is great for the resume, but it was like, okay, you're doing Roseland, right? But to say Madison's MSG, you know what I'm saying? Where and for you guys to do that consistently was phenomenal. Let me tell you something. I'm sure it was always a classic event, a sold out. Oh, shout out to Carlos on YouTube. He said, remember the Best Buy building. Y'all did that too, right? Damn, right. Let me tell you something. When we sit back and we talk about promotions, that's why when I tell people there are some people in this game that I'll say Hall of Famers, right? And when people ask me about promotionals, and I try to be as forthright as I can. Like I say, if I was a Hall of Famer, in this legendary aspect. I could say I was like a Charles Barkley, but you guys were like,
Mike
oh
trying to
man,
show you. Mike is trying to show you a picture of the marquee.
Yo, the marquee, show it.
Do you have the Garden marquee too? Move it over some, Mike, to the middle, to your I don't know.
Look at that. Listen, that is phenomenal, man. That is phenomenal. That is. Let me tell you something. That when y'all had your name up in lights, I was like, oh my God. Let me tell you something.
I have to say this. I have to say just 2 corrections on stuff because I try to be politically right. Kenyatta did the Garden before Black and Gold. People don't know that.
Right.
Okay,
and
as far as the UN building go, Kenyatta did that before y'all did that bill for us.
Really?
Kenyatta did the UN. Yes, I got to.
He did the UN too.
Yes, sir.
Let me find out. Shout out to Kenyatta because I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's all right.
Remember K and K, him and Crystal?
Yes. Okay. That's right. So you know what's so funny? Shout out to Kenyatta because the beautiful thing about this, I don't even think right now, like you said, to burp a baby, it goes on a resume to say, yeah, I did it first. And that's a beautiful thing because Kenyatta had did some parties. I remember he was doing the hotel right across the street from the Guard for a long time too, I think. Yeah.
Upstairs, he did one of the Knicks party in there. Big man, I forget his name. Center.
So a beautiful thing. Shout out to all the promoters that have come that have walked this path because let me tell you something. It's I was talking to Reggie Wells today, and we talked about how promotions. And I want you guys to talk about this real quick. Let me just give everybody a shout out. Marcus Slade is in the building. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Marcus.
Jazzy is in the building.
Stay out of those clubs, Marcus.
Okay, Bill. I see you, George. Yeah, exactly. Your Marcus word. Keith Armstrong, Miguel Navarro. Shout out to them. Sean Goldie Bills is in the building. What's up, Sean? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. This is a promotional night. I'm just giving homage to my boys. All of you, this is a promotional thing. This is a brotherhood, a sisterhood that we have. I had a night that I wanted to give back. Listen, I will eventually reach out to you legendary promoters. At this time, it's no disrespect to like I said, the ones that came before us or the ones that are behind us right now. I'm just giving some love right now to these brothers right here. And this is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like what you hear, share it, subscribe to it on YouTube channel. We got some other stuff coming on. Like I said, I'm interviewing doctors about the vaccine. I'm going to ask these brothers about the vaccine shot. I'll ask them a little political questions because it can't be real talk if I didn't talk about some political stuff or some stuff like that. The evolution of 4-star entertainment. I could be the 4-star general for one night thanks to these guys having them back. You know what I'm saying? So Daryl, Mike, and Bruce, let me ask you a question. Daryl and Mike, real quick. Talk about what it felt like to do an event and finally see your fruits of labor come to fruition. I'll start with you, Mike, and then I'll go you, Daryl. Go ahead.
Something comes to mind right now of all those big venues you mentioned that Black and Gold has done. We can't go forward without talking about even the trips we did. All of these are complicated operations. And me and Daryl and Rudy, well, you see our faces in the front, but we can't forget, like you say, our staff that we had. That's why we were able to pull off complicated weekend trips, buses traveling from state to state and back, Madison Square Garden, Roselands, and all these big places without all the people. If I start naming them, I'm going to miss somebody. But all my Black and Gold family who's listening right now, you probably could chime in on Bill's page. I want to give thanks to all of those because that's, we're nothing without them. It's not easy pulling off big venues and, weekend trips. That's why you said you come to the door. Our staff handled the garden and everything we else did. We do trips. Me and Daryl got 5 million things to do, but all the people with us they got jobs too. That's why it was seamless all the time.
Right.
And that is really important. And I know some of them are on here now. I want to give a shout out to all of my Black and Gold staff and family.
Appreciate you. Shout out to them. Daryl, go ahead.
once again, like Mike said, without our staff, to move 18 buses, to have events jump off accordingly, to have all the things in place for an event, the fruit eating contest, to have the fruit there, to have the towels there, to have the cards there for the judges, to have the judges in place, and and the behind the scenes things. You're booking artist flights, you're booking their rooms, you're providing whatever is in their riders,
Yeah.
So to have we had to have a staff. We had to have someone that could handle it. That's why we met. We would meet whether we had an event or not, and we would talk about it. I mean, we changed the game so much because, early in the Craft Fest, we used to do King's Dominion. So we would leave the hotel on a Saturday and be gone all day, be gone like 10 hours later, we come back. And we got to the point and say, hold on. We in this fabulous hotel. We in Marriott's, Hilton, Sheridan, and we're giving them a break. We're going for 10 hours that day. Let's stop that. And we decided the less bus movement you have, the better it is. Because if one bus catch a flat, now you got 50 people that's upset. You understand? We don't have situations where buses broke down or, a bus couldn't leave the hotel at the right time. So I never rode a bus. I get to the hotel in the wee hours of the morning, but I want to make sure when my people get there, everything is fine. Mike would tell you, I would sit at a board table when I'm down at the Sheridan with every manager of every department of the hotel, from security to catering, and they would give me a pamphlet because I don't already sent them my itinerary in advance. By trade, I'm an IT person. So anything I sent to the hotel was comprehensive. I would send them comprehensive bus lists, rooming lists, have everything broken down, my itinerary. And we would go over my itinerary step by step. There was never a middleman between me and the hotel. That's the difference between Black and Gold. Everybody go to Eastern Light, Adventure Unlimited. Leave it all to them. Leave it all to them. Black and Gold, the contract with the hotel is the contract between Black and Gold. So it's not me going to the hotel and saying something ain't right and them telling me you need to talk to them because we don't got a contract with you. So all my contracts with the theme parks, with the bus companies, it's always been one-on-one. So I felt comfortable picking up the phone. Something ain't right. Y'all need to get this right.
Well, let me interject with that and say this. First and foremost, I think you guys, for the most part, were the pinnacle of success doing that. The Gators, and shout out to other people that have done it. Let me tell you something. When Mike tried to get me to do it, and we did it a couple of times, and I was just like, nah, because you're right, there was the middleman. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, come on, man, I got to talk to this dude from Eastern Light or talk to this. And I think you and I talked about this. I was like, yo, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm hands-on and I like to negotiate also. But like I said, you guys kind of set the blueprint of what it was to have a successful craft or a ski trip. Because I've had the pleasure to go on and what's so funny. The one thing I want to give you guys a props on too. A lot of times when promoters did things, you didn't do them. Let me just give everybody out there some food for thought. A lot of times you did events on nights when other promoters didn't do anything, kind of like a little courtesy if you knew a date was kind of thing. But their party, Black and Gold Party, was probably one party that you knew you was going to see every promoter that ever put a party together that has some credentials. You understand what I'm saying? And when I say credentials, this isn't any disrespect to any up and coming promoter at the time or anybody that thought they were a promoter. This was a person that they thought that you were a promoter in our establishment, and not bigger, better, or smaller, just a peer. The same thing with my parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, My sister, she knew who was supposed to come through that door. I didn't have to come to the door to say, oh, yo, Bruce is here. You know, P&B is here. Black and Gold is here. She knew that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now, if you was up and coming and I didn't know you, that was a whole nother conversation. But I knew at an MSG party or a hotel party that I was going to see every promoter that I haven't seen in 100 years, and I was so happy to see them. They were still alive. They were still doing good. I mean, because the beautiful thing about us at this age that we are in our lives, we've known a lot of people, and our circles, for some reason, our degrees have gotten smaller. You understand what I'm saying? Like the fact that, like you guys, you know, I can go and hang out with you, Daryl or Mike, and then you'll be with a Gator family, or we'll be with like you and I was talking on the phone. You talked to Cleo, I talked to this person, Keith Armstrong. Rest in peace to the people that we've partied with. First and foremost, everybody, let me give a shout out to all the ones that we have lost along this way, because we've lost some phenomenal
A
people
lot of good brothers.
that even going back to Rand, my man, Lee
LD
Greene,
all night, all day. LD.
yes, yeah, LD all night.
Ferguson.
I got a picture. I got a picture of LD Ferguson. I got a picture of that. We were at LD's funeral. Sister Brenda sent it to me. I'm going to send it to you guys. We were all at that funeral. So shout out to all the people that have come and
DJ
gone.
Lance.
DJ Lance,
Yes.
Tommy Allen.
Tommy
You
Allen.
know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
everybody, this is it's really like a celebration and in a memory lane. And Daryl's throwing down the facts. I see you, Diane Hayes, in there.
Let's say this too. This is
Sure.
about Black and Gold, right? But let's just think back. All right. Back in the day, there was 4 parties that I did not want to miss. The Big Leg contest at the Vista Hotel Lincoln party.
Yes.
Okay. The Transit party at the Manhattan Center. And how could you ever forget about the 2-8 party? Hollywood and Flash. The 2-8. It wasn't nothing bigger than the 2-8 party.
Let me tell you, shout out, rest in peace to Smitty. My mentor, Smitty. Shout out to Smitty, my mentor. The 1 year that he did not do it, he let me don the crown, and I wore it for a winner, and it was sideways because it wasn't his way. Let me tell you something. Hollywood still did that party. I had the blessing because I was a 2-8 member and I was promotional. But let me tell you something, Daryl, you are so right what you're saying. It was the 2-8. It was the Big Leg contest. What else? What else?
I think the same night as the 2-8. You remember the same night as the 2-8 was the Transit party at Manhattan Center every time. But
every year.
I would jump downtown first, and Hollywood would always leave my name at the door so I could wait, because they done shut the doors down by the time I get in there. I got to call Hollywood. Hollywood got to send somebody to the door in order to get me in. The line was
through the side door. Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. But let me tell you something. Smitty was the one person you didn't know.
Oh, no. Smitty wasn't letting nobody in. I don't care what promoter you was. Smitty had the money in his hand. He had the wad of money in his hand.
At the door.
Smitty, yo, I'm special.
He had the money in his hand at the door like he was holding tissue. Yo.
$30. Well, I'm on Hollywood guest, $30.
Yo, he had the money in his hand. He'd be like, and it'd be like this balled up. Like, yo, and I said, Smitty, let me tell you something. He taught me so much too from an OG perspective. I said, Smitty, do you have security? He said, well, I need security when all y'all in here. Y'all police officers. I said, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? The beautiful thing, and let me that's a testament to all of us right here, especially at this thing right now. I can rest and I can say this. Situations, we didn't have those. Even if something started to seem like it was about to escalate, we was right on it. We didn't have that. Our success came from the situations that didn't happen at our things. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We may have got the calls later. Oh, I saw her. She was talking to him, and You know he's sleeping with her. I said, listen, I ain't got time to be dealing with what y'all doing over there. I just want to know that you got my ticket money. That's all. I ain't got no problems with that. And let me tell you something. Shout out to what you were saying, D and Mike, about staff and stuff like this. I can sit here and say this unequivocally. I've probably never sold more than 20 to 30 tickets in my life. If it wasn't for my staff and the people that have partied with me and helped me out, let me tell you something. But let me tell you something. I connect the dots. And I'm so thankful that we have brought happiness and entertainment to people that look for that. So Daryl and Mike, let me ask you a question. This pandemic, I know, have slowed you down. Are you going to continue success after this? When the world opens up again, will y'all promote again?
In due time, yes.
Okay, right.
The key to it is, like you said, when the world opens up. I'm in no hurry,
Right.
I see a lot of things going on, and it frights me.
Right.
To see what's going on, and to me, it's just not that serious. And let's live for another day.
Yeah.
Let's get to that point when we get to the herd immunity, where it gets a little more lax, where you can have the gatherings of the hundreds and hundreds of people that we all look forward to. And and I just want to give two more shout outs. One, I got to give your girl a shout out, Diva, man. Diva's the one who got us on the rooftop on 103rd Street.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And someone said something about food, so I thought they was talking about the Soul Sisters. If y'all know who those people are, I don't know if y'all know who the Soul Sisters was.
Sounds real familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
Diva's the one. I mean, I think we did the rooftop for about 5 years straight. I think 5, 6 years. We did it as a get to know you party. And we would get 1,100 people up on that roof with no problem. And Diva was the first one up there. She the one who got us up on.
So Daryl and Mike, let me ask you a question. And I think you guys are you'll go down in history for being the first in a lot of spots sometimes to do spots, even if it didn't seem like you were first, like you said, the rooftop. Diva was, shout out to Diva. You guys, you weren't the first, but you were there. But it seemed like it was your spot first. You know what I'm saying? Because you may have did it consistently. And I think that's what this whole thing tonight is about, your consistency that you have put together. Like what I mean, listen, when I sit back and I just think about all the questions that I can ask you guys about consistency, longevity, it amazes me, because when, like I was telling somebody earlier, like when we talk about Hall of Fames and legendaries and people that know parties, you guys have stood the test of time. Like, you're like a person that played on one team for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But you're iconic with it. And you Hall of Fame at his best, like, Lou Alcindor-ish, Oscar Robin-ish, like, and I'm trying to give you somebody, like, I always say when Gator came out, they was like Kobe. Like, they came out hard, like they was just hitting it with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say, like, I was like the Charles Barkley list. You knew who I was, you knew me for what I did. But like you guys are kind of like, I'm trying to find a ball player that has that respect and that longevity, that even when you still see him today, like a la Shaq. You guys might be like still making money after your promotional. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys can go into events. Yeah, like I'm saying, you guys have done events that, I don't care your resume against anybody can be. Somebody could say at a time, maybe this year, that year, I was hotter than Black and Gold. But putting your body of work. Now, let me say something. How long do you technically say you've been promoting? How many years would you say you've technically been promoting?
29.
29?
92 is our first party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 92
92?
is when we came up with Black and Gold. You know,
Okay,
and
92.
We have previous
so
experience before that.
I guess Bill, earlier you asked what makes you feel good like in this game and stuff. When you
Yeah.
start getting accolades from your peers, you know, Scotty
Right.
Flash and Jordash down at Mark Ballroom one night brought me down there and gave me an award. At the Roxy, God bless the dead, Tony Brooks.
Yes.
Brooks.
And a whole slew of the Reggie Wells was involved with that. I think K. Mill was involved with that. Mike. I think Mike and them was down with that, and they gave me a award. When your peers recognize what you do, I've sat and talked with Link Sessom, and Link give me props. When I sit and talk to Jimmy Holloway,
Right.
there was Mike could contest this. There was a trip that was going down to the Barbados, and one night me and Mike get a call, and they wanted us to join them to go down to Barbados. This was we was being invited by the island to come down there to look at the island, and me and Mike looking at each other, and they said, "All you got to do is pay one way." Like looking at each other. We stayed down there 4 days, 5 days.
We was in Barbados 4 days.
4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we stay 2 days at one resort, right? All inclusive.
Yeah, and then move to
2 days at another resort, all inclusive.
Yeah.
The prime minister picked us up every day. And
Yep.
Mike and I was the youngster of this group. This was all promoters of our peers. And they was about to embark on doing something large in the islands. And it was just an honor for us, the Dow twins. It was just an honor to us that they thought that highly of us to invite us.
Yes.
I mean, it was just mind-boggling. I was just like a fly on the wall. I just sat there and I was just in awe of being around these guys. So
we were sitting there with big time guys.
Right. And so to receive accolades from the guys that you look at as your peers and your seniors it's nothing like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. Let me just say this. I got to give my little promotional service announcement. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I got my co-host with me, / brother in the building, Bruce Boyd. He joined in. We got I call them iconic legends in the promotional games. Like I said in my advertisement, their names are etched in promotional law for as long as anybody else's. I have Daryl Hicks and Mike Greene of Black and Gold. Shout out to these brothers, iconic promoters. Shout out to Mia Sealy in the building. I see you. Ralphie's in the building. Fasal, your partner, Bruce.
Bye-bye.
Keith Armstrong on YouTube. Martha Hunter said, Daryl, that was Diva and myself on the rooftop. Absolutely. Somebody also said, Jay Button said, Jay, thank you, Jay, for breaking it down. You was like, yo, shout out to Smile for Sonia. Absolutely. He said, Jay Button said the best and most professional photographers. That definitely we had the guys in the building. He said, yeah, comparisons to Derek Jeter, Bill Russell's, Kareem, David Robinson. Exactly. You know, Howie said, Mike and Daryl has always showed me love. Definitely. Salute to you. Thank you, Howie. He was down. Chris Love, iconic promoters. George is in the building. He said, rest in peace to Kenny and Dave Shore. Yes, absolutely. My dude. Yo, you know, everybody, this is Celebration of Life. Like I said, this is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like it, subscribe to it, share it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to it, please. If you're on Facebook, please share it. We're celebrating these brothers' lives. I have a person in here. I think, let me know who he is, Freddie Francis. I know he's been in the wings for a long time. I don't know who he
Grand
is.
Pooba.
You don't know
That's the
Pooba?
Grand Pooba.
Oh, that's Grand Pooba?
Get us in the house. Get us in the house.
Well, let me bring him in and give him some love. Let me give him some love and bring him some. Yo, Freddie, you've been in the cut for a long time. Everybody, let me bring this brother in the building. Freddie, what's up, man?
Unmute your mic.
Man. Let me tell you, I didn't see your face. You got to unmute yourself, Freddie.
There you go.
What's the deal, man? How are you? Turn your phone down. Mute your phone.
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 No, not the computer.
No,
your phone.
Not your computer. Mute your phone, Freddie. Bring your phone down.
That's the Grand Pooba right there, baby.
What's up, good brother? How are you, man? Listen, you know, these government names and
I'm
stuff
good.
like
Can
that.
you hear me?
We
Yes,
got
sir.
you, man. Yo, Freddie, listen, man. First and foremost, man, how are you? How are you staying? You staying safe doing this COVID stuff?
Oh, very, very much, very much. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and I apologize for having you in the cut. Listen, man. Listen, I'm getting older, man. You know, just because I'm taking the gray off, don't mean the eyes. So
Well, I got to tell you this. I appreciated being in the cut because you couldn't tell me I wasn't the center of everything. I'm learning a lot here. I was a skinny dude with a lot of attitude, and now I'm looking like, oh yeah, that was going on. So I'm learning a lot here.
So Freddie, let me ask you right now, because since you joined this party, and shout out to everybody that's watching. You know, I appreciate the Black and Gold family for hanging out with Real Talk Chronicles. You know, aka the 4-star general first and foremost. Yo, Sean, shout out to Sean. We see you, Sean, in the building. And you know, I will, and please everybody hold me to this. One day I'm gonna have just a real talk. We may not be able to say anything, but we're just going to have a bunch of faces on a Real Talk Chronicles thing right now. But Freddie, give us some love. Give me some love on Daryl and Mike. How you feel about them brothers, man? Because it's about them tonight. Please.
Yeah, it's about them. It's always been about them with Gator Production. And I'm not just saying that because it's their night. I'm going to tell you, me, my brother, Dwayne, my crew, we were a bunch of young dudes just having fun. We were just hanging out. We had a crowd, but we were just doing it for fun until my brother Mike Francis, he used to hang out with this dude named Daryl. I had no idea who he was. And he calls me up and he says, yo, you doing your thing. Give my boy Daryl a call. I called Daryl up and we talked about it for a little bit, and that's how we wound up doing the Cotton Club. We did the Cotton Club, and that's my brother Dwayne and I, we used to do parties before that, but after we did the Cotton Club, it changed everything about how we did everything as it pertains to party promotion. And that's real talk. That's real talk.
And let me tell you something. Yo, Freddie, check this out. I think Daryl and Mike have either given their knowledge. I have never known them not to share knowledge, and maybe that's a peer thing at a time when we were peers. I mean, we're always peers and brothers, but I'm thinking like Daryl and I have definitely sat back and conversed on the phone about a lot of things personally, you know, but also business wise. But I say all that to say that I have not known Daryl to not be insightful on knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in this game, we all get egos. It is what it is and stuff like that. Did we lose Bruce? Did he step away for a second? Maybe we did. But Bruce, if you want to come back, Bruce, you're more than welcome. But with that being said, Mike,
yeah,
you and Daryl have never shunned away from, like I said, my personal feelings of giving a helping hand. Because like Daryl, you and I, we talked about like so many people, I think, have to pay homage to you guys, whether they want to or they don't. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, like I know people that have loved me. Like I always say to Floss, from giving me my little OG status. When Floss has had a party, he's been like, yo, Bill, please come by and show some love. Like I've even teased Rob Jackson, like, yo, like I burped you. You know, you sell tickets for me, but you don't send you don't send me no invitation. And you know, no disrespect to Rob Jackson, that's my man. But I'm just saying that's real talk. So I say all that to say that I've seen so many guys come from your camp. And I'm not trying to sit here and ask you to take ownership of tutelage and stuff like that, but just maybe if you can shout out some brothers that wouldn't mind you saying that you gave help, like Gator, like PNB. You know, if there's some other promoters that you think would be honored to be linked in with you? Like, go ahead.
Well, my
Well,
boys
of
here to
course, there's
speak.
going to be.
Goldie, Tom, Wap,
Right.
And T-Bone, the Hennessy cats, and
Yeah.
you had Party Time, Kenny,
Gordon.
Kenny Gordon from Party Time.
Yeah. Shout out to Kenny. Yeah.
Rudy stepped off and has had success before, doing his own thing as Rudy Marquis.
Yeah.
So we didn't had a few that came out of this bunch, that was very successful in their own rights.
Right.
And we still got some of them who still support us, like your Super Joes out of Connecticut, your Billies from Philly, your Snoops from Jersey. These are cats who are doing their own thing in their own states too. Just like, we always, all these cats, like you have Bruce on from P&B, we got Pooh on with us. We all was family growing together. One hand helped the other, so that contributed to the success and longevity of
Mike and I would be on a Gator trip, and I think we worked harder on a Gator trip than we did on our own trip. All right, we're running like you remember the time? I think we got was it
Carl Thomas?
Carl Thomas.
We got him.
This is the first time they had entertainment. They didn't know the part about the rider, so I'm running to the local store because I don't want to get the hotel, because the first time we ever did case, remember we let the hotel get us the long stem roses? He wanted 2 dozen long stem. I got the bill $300 for 2 dozen. I said never again. So I didn't want them to get caught in the same trap we got caught in. So I'm running to the store while Mike is taking all of the backline stuff going on.
I'm doing all the technical stuff. I did all that.
But we all doing it for love, because the whole idea was that, we all got off. I think Grand Pooper, we all got off when we saw our constituents having a wonderful time. And it's been many a times, been many a times I'll get a call in the middle of the night. Yo, Daryl, my trip got canceled. I need some help. This happened because they messing with that Eastern Light stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And they'll cancel you with a week out and laughing in your face while they're doing it. Talent.
Yo, let me tell you something, Daryl. You were so right. I remember Mike Eddie and I getting into an argument about them damn Eastern Lights and whoever. I was like, yo, Mike, man, who is this? I was like, no disrespect to my white listeners right now, but I was like, yo, who's this white boy talking to, man? You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo. I was like, he know I'm old school. I got a ski mask in this drawer. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man. Yo, I was just saying. I mean, I think a lot of times, and shout out, and I just say this when I shout out to Smile for Sonia when she gave me the award for outstanding promotional, longevity. I said during my speech at the time, I said, listen. And this is a testament to you guys, Gator, and other promoters in this building that are listening. If you take this as a party, you'll always have fun. If you take this as a business, you'll be lucrative. You understand what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is, we worked to put this together. The night of the event, we may have had some fallback and was easy. Not every event is I mean, to the crowd, you couldn't tell certain people, oh, y'all didn't make any money, but we knew certain things weren't might have not been the great weather permitting or anything that magnitude. But I think we, the gentlemen here, along with a lot of the listeners here, we understood what it took to make sure this function went smooth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we wanted. We wanted smooth and professional. Go ahead, Daryl. Comment on that.
Y'all asked us about other little groups or other promoters, but I want Mike Greene to tell the story of how he brought Smile for Sonia into the business of doing what she does. I mean, she was a
Go ahead, please.
But Mike got her on the promotion side. Why don't you tell your story about that?
Well, this was years ago when I used to live in Staten Island. She was a friend of my wife's, and we would be at different events, and she would come on our trip as a customer, and she started just taking pictures herself. And then what she would do afterwards was, like, all of a sudden give me a little booklet of 80 pictures she took. And I was so impressed by it, and she would do that on her own every time, whether she came to a party or a trip. So we decided we got to bring her everywhere we go, trips, parties, and then she really got into it. And then it sprouted from there. Then Gator pulled her in, everybody else from then. And now she's, mainstay in the business and birthed all these other photographers that's out there trying to mimic doing what she did. But she did it first and big time. At every event you've seen, Smile for Sonia. I love that name. She said, Smile for Sonia. She walked through the party. Hey, stop for a sec, Smile for Sonia. And it, was just legendary from there. She's still at the top of the game. You got other photographers out there. Shout out to all of them too. But Sonia's not only a photographer, she's our family and part of our promotion game. She helped us just like everybody else did. Helped Gator, helped all the other promoters. And that changed the game. There's not one party that don't have a photographer in it, right?
Well, definitely shout out to Smile for Sonia. Let me tell you something. She has come from, and I'm going to use the word, not literally. I'm figuratively, but not literally. Kind of came out of nowhere and then just blossomed. And what she did with the promotional thing, like the award ceremony, was awesome. And shout out to Smile for Sonia if she's listening anywhere. Wherever you are, sister, appreciate you. I just want to shout out to the people on YouTube. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I got the iconic promoters, Black and Gold in the building, Daryl, Hicks, and Mike Greene. And I got my man, Freddie Francis, Gator in the house, sitting in with me. D,
keeping my smile for
S. Law said, Daryl and Mike, when I met you, you changed my life, enjoyed the trip, and the party came, and can't wait to get together again. Darlene, that's Carlos, Eastern Light, bait and switch with hotels, parties was the worst. Absolutely. Shout out to Sean McGee in the building. He said, "What's up, y'all?" Jay Buttons, Jay, love you, man. You should have been in here. 40 Dog in the building, man. Like he said, Sean, he said, great memories. George, he said, rest in peace to Kenny and Dave Shaw and Kenny Shaw.
Jay Buttons on
Jay
here.
Jay Buttons from Jay Getaways.
Can we get Jay Buttons in? Squeeze his picture up in here
somebody,
somehow.
I don't have Jay's information. Okay. If one of y'all want to text him the information I sent you,
I'll text him.
Text him the information, and Jay, you can come in and I'll let you in. I'm gonna bring Bruce back. I got Bruce back. So listen, first and foremost, let me just say this. Tell somebody, Daryl, Mike, Freddie, Bruce. I'll let y'all guys chime in. I know it's definitely about Daryl and Mike, but I don't want Freddie and Bruce not to hold back too long. Tell people what if they want to promote. If they want, it's a different time now than what we did because we understood what it's like to make money. And this isn't any disrespect to the promoters out here today. Don't take it this way, but this is real talk. Let me tell you something. I don't think a lot of you new promoters out here today are ever going to grab the bag like we grabbed the bag. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And everybody here knows what I'm talking about when I'm saying grab the bag. Right? Yeah. It was a different bag for us than what you guys are doing now, right? Mm-hmm. So give some guys, and I'll start off with you, Mike, Daryl, and then Bruce and Freddie, some do's and don'ts if you want to be an event planner. Because that's the evolution of us. You know what I'm saying? Let me pose this out on y'all. Like that's the evolution of us, the event planner. What are some things? Mike, give me one. Daryl, give me one. Okay. Bruce, give me one. Freddie, give me one. And we can keep going around. But just as you think about it, what are the do's and don'ts, the things that you should do as a promoter right now to this day? Go ahead, Mike. I'll start with you.
One of the first things I would say, you got to put in the work. And what I mean by that, today's promotion game is, let's just send out a flyer on Instagram or Facebook real quick. They don't know the days that me and Darryl and all of you guys used to sit in the living room, print out a zillion flyers and buy a zillion envelopes and stamps.
Make the stamps, all that.
Envelopes. Then also make plans of going to every party in every borough damn near weeks before our party just to get the word out. Yes. You got to do that. And I would say, as I said earlier, just plan a really successful and pleasant event. People will then remember you and they will come back. That's all. No funny business. Everything today is about flossing and stunting and then drinking bottles and people not even dancing. That's why we had the best DJs. People came and had a good time.
Yeah.
Right? Looking good, feeling good. They went home with a great feeling. They came back.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna pass the mic to Daryl on that aspect, but you're right. Let me tell you something. The most pleasant times I've had at my parties is to see you guys dancing at my parties. Let me tell you something. Back in the days, we would share money, and when I say share money, if I had people in town, Mike, I remember you rolling.
Yeah.
You know, call people. Yo, I got some people in town. What can you do for them, or nothing like that? Or that's what we would do. Like Bruce, if you had a party, if Freddie, y'all had a party. Yo, where you going tonight, B? I know you know when something's happening. Oh, yo, I'm going up to Gator. I'm going to PNB's party. Go ahead, Daryl. Take over. Give me something, Daryl, that you know your do's and don'ts that you would tell somebody.
Let me. I talked
It's about
earlier.
you guys tonight. So rock on, brother. You do whatever you want to do, baby.
I talked earlier about Armenian Hall, and Mike would tell you the legwork I put in to get in that place. That place was shut down for a reason back in the days. There was a party there, and after the party, there was a shooting.
Shootout.
And the shootout, it didn't happen at the party. The party was over, but it happened up in Harlem, but it originated down there. And understand, that is a beautiful hall, but it is attached to a church, a Ukrainian church.
Yes.
So
yes.
The community, with all the noise and racket that happened, they shut it down. I went 5 years straight to this man, once a year. No, Daryl. No, Daryl. The 5th year, he said, you know what? I'm going to give you a shot. So what Mike said, you got to put in the legwork sometimes. You know, you talk about most of the venues that we've been in, we found these venues. Most of the venues, we didn't even mention, and Bill, you was in there, we didn't even mention Metropolitan Pavilion. Right? We didn't even mention the Aukman building. Okay, now these are spots that I could, Aukman building, we was the only promoter. Well, again, Kenyatta went in there. But
yo, shout out to Kenyatta. He had the key. Kenyatta was the key maker.
You could only say in Metropolitan Pavilion, outside of you, I think Kenyatta and myself, it might have been maybe one other promoter. The spots that Black and Gold has been in, they've either been exclusive to Black and Gold, or you could count on one hand the other promoters that have been in.
Yeah. Shout out, Bruce. Give me some insight, Bruce. Tell me something now, Bruce. You had a bunch of guys. A family, I'm gonna say as a family. I don't want to disrespect them and say guys, but you had a family,
all the brothers.
Your brothers. You had a bunch of brothers that you had to share money with, and so your business had to be on point. Give me some insight on what it's like to work together with so many collective good minds. I'm gonna say good minds because you guys had a nice solid run. You know what I'm saying? When your name is etched in promotional history. Give us some insight. Go ahead.
And that's a very good question, Bill. But I'm gonna tell you something about myself, Ralphie, Richie, Raul, Chick, and Rodney. Yeah, we were very tight, and we are even tighter to this day. There's one thing that we never allowed was for money to get anywhere in front of us, and that is the God's honest truth, y'all. It was 6 of us. And we never allowed it. We knew what we had to do. We knew how the money had to be divided. We just knew we was bringing a service and we was bringing something positive to the community, if you will, of partying and dancing and doing whatever we need to do. I'm sorry, I just want to put this. So that never was a problem. We were just focused on just trying to get bigger and better. Like Daryl said, when Daryl introduced me to the game, or introduced us to the game, San Ramos, I think we had 250 people. A successful party though, but just 250. I don't know what our largest number was. I have to ask Richie. D, what we had in 205th Club? I don't remember what it was.
I even think you're better. How about the Roosevelt?
Oh my God, the Roosevelt.
Roosevelt was good.
Roosevelt.
The Roosevelt. So So just what you're saying, Bill, we never really had that problem. But to piggyback what you said, Bill, about what to do and the grind, the bag is so much different now than it was back then, as all you have to say. Me, Ralphie, and Mike Richie, and the whole crew, man, we split up and covered New York City. People don't understand the grind of promoting your parties. Because not only do you want to promote your parties, but you also wanted to support the other promoters that was doing parties as well. Promoters wanted to see you. Oh, yo, Bruce, thank you for coming. But then you couldn't really come and hang out that much because you had to kind of move on. All this I'm telling you, I learned from D. Hicks.
But yo, Bruce, stay with me on this. Bruce,
that's how I got to know everybody.
Stay with me on this, Bruce, real quick. I tell a lot of young promoters one time, and I have it on Facebook right now, the history of 4 Star Entertainment, and it was so funny how people were just trying, when Facebook kind of got to certain people were sending me friend requests, and I knew they were affiliated with certain people, like you guys or whomever, and I would accept it. And then one time I got a invitation. Somebody said, yeah, come to my party. And I want to stay with you, Bruce, on this. And they was like, yo, come to my party. And I was like, okay. They was like, yeah, well, tickets is this and that. I said, who? So I said, wait. I said, wait a minute. I said, you want me to pay? I said, listen. I said, do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? This is one time when I had to grab myself, disrespect. This is when my ego will set in. And so I was like, do you know? They was like, oh, well, either you want to support black business. Listen. I said, first, in this game, let me tell you what the rules, the unwritten rules are promoting. First and foremost, and Daryl and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Freddie and Bruce, chime in at any time if I'm wrong on this. When Daryl and I and Mike, we was out here doing these events and we was getting these hotels, Bruce, you can come, and Freddie, listen, we were able to get a bar guarantee, right? Back in the day, it was about a bar guarantee. We had to meet a bar so we wouldn't have to pay out at the end of the night.
That's right.
Promoters, we would allow promoters to come to your event because the thing they would do was buy and patronize your bar. Word of mouth, they would tell somebody, where they're going that night. But when they come to your event for free, they would either offer to buy you a drink or patronize your bar as much as they could. And I had to explain to this promoter at the time, I said, listen, do you know the rules of engagement with this? Like, don't get this twisted. Like, don't change up what we set forth, what we've learned from the Lincolns and the Melvins and the Jimmies and the Dow twins. To come in a party at a time when a person don't have to let you in free. You understand what I'm saying? But to have a bar guarantee, unbeknown to us. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what Daryl and Mike had. I didn't know what Bruce or Freddie had. They didn't know what I had But the bottom line is, I knew that if somebody asked me where I was going tonight, I was letting them know I was going to my man's party. That's what's happening in the city right now. And right now, when I go to the bar, if I can catch them, I will offer them a drink if I caught them. You know what I'm saying? But it was my duty as a promoter to come and bless their bar. Bless their bar. Am I saying anything wrong, fellas, or am I right?
No. Not at all, brother.
Mike and I have stood online. I'll pay to get in the party in a minute. It doesn't.
I still do.
Right, I still do.
Even if I'm on the list.
Yo, but hold on, Daryl. Let me just say this. You can pay. You ain't paying to get on no damn line. You and Mike. Let me tell you something. Listen, Daryl. You know the lines that you and I used to stand on with the Lincoln and the Melvin lines. Hopefully they would be at the door.
Right.
Well, no, Mike got it free to those parties. If I was on Mike coattail, I got it free. I'm saying, if I didn't meet up with Mike, because Mike, Mike, no, I'm a late comer. If I got down there too late, I'm paying. Although Mike, I'll meet you at the door. But if Mike wasn't there, here you go. Here you go. I didn't mess. It did. Because you know why? I was a party. If I wasn't doing what I do in a promoting game, I would still have been out partying.
Right.
I was a club head before, it didn't matter. Right. I remember we used to get on the train because, we ain't had no vehicles. We got on the train. When you was on the train, you met your man at a certain, met him at 125th Street or something. when you get to 125th Street, y'all right here. There were so many clubs. What clubs we going to tonight? We're gonna go to Pippin's, the Collie Blonde, second floor.
Fellas, I'll be right back. I got you. Y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Mike. We got you. But Daryl, all I'm trying to say is that those were the unwritten rules. Shout out to Carlos, Los on the check-in on YouTube.
Los.
I was just saying that those were unwritten rules. A lot of times people get misconstrued.
Yeah, but that was the unwritten rule. That was the unwritten rule in our circle. I mean, when I got to a Gator joint, if I could have walked in there with 10 people, but I never did. I got in the P&B.
But that's respect.
I could walk in there with 10 people, but we never did. All right. But when that outside promoter invited me, no problem. No problem. It was no problem to me. But in the circle, we never had to worry about it.
No, we did. And that's all I was just enhancing and lighting, because I think a lot of times, and Freddie, you can chime in on this, and Bruce, I can come back to you. You can chime on this, and then Freddie, I finish with you. That a lot of times we fail to miss that tutelage that came before us, because Daryl, you and I know we watched Lincoln and Melvin and Jimmy's, and the Dow twins. We watched their game, because what's so funny, and the Sparkles and the Steve Gilliams. We watched how they did their thing. Because what's so funny, we knew they were the pinnacle of success. And, our time shining wasn't offbeat to theirs. And I'm just telling everybody, if we're talking 89, 92, say if they did 89 to 94, then our time might have been 95 to 2000. You know what I'm saying? To be blessed like Daryl Hicks and Mike Greene that are still doing things in the 2019s and the 18s and the 17s. You know what I'm saying? Like I came back out with oh my God, Arlie, Ted, and Andre. You know what I'm saying? Assorted flavors, and we started doing the brunch parties, because one thing that I do, it was the evolution of me as a promoter or event planner, but it was something that I appreciated them asking me to be a part of. But I'm just saying that going now to Bruce and Fred, all I'm trying to see, Daryl, is all I was trying to say is that there was a certain respect.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like the lady that watched you grow up, you still called her Miss Johnson, even though, you know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, Daryl, Daryl, whatever.
Yeah, Miss Johnson.
She still was Miss Johnson no matter what. You damn near 40 years old, 32 years old. She's still like, hey, Miss Johnson, you know what I'm saying? And you'll still grab her bag. So I was just saying there was just certain rules of engagement. Bruce, you can finish it off, and then Freddie, I'm gonna come to you. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, yeah, basically that was it, brother. Just like the bag is a little different now than it was back then. It was about promoting. It was about getting out, getting your flyers. And again, this is because of Daryl Hicks. We was very, very secure about our flyers. Every word had to be correct. If you had a flyer that you had to fold them. There's a big grind behind this promoting thing, man, that you see the fruition when you do your parties and it's successful. But now, you press a button and 10,000 people got. So I don't even know if people even do people even do flyers anymore. I don't even know if people actually do physical flyers anymore. So the bag was just a lot different than it was then that it was now. But again, my thing would be consistency, and Daryl Hicks and Black and Gold is showing that they have been consistent for 30 years. So that would be my advice to all the promoters out there is that don't stop. The consistency is a very, very part of it. So, and I'm sorry, Freddie, I'll give it to you, brother.
Oh no, go ahead, Freddie. Yeah, Freddie, give me your thoughts on it. Like I said, Gator. Let me tell you something. You guys came on the set, and let me tell you something. I compare Gator to the LeBrons and the Kobes. The way you have carried that torch and did it. I know there were some trials and tribulations and things that y'all went through, but that we're not even talking about that. We're just talking about the successful part of Gator, because that's what I remember and that's what I want to remember. And this is about a celebration of life, because we have lost too many iconic people in our circle that we love and appreciate it. But just give me some insight on what it was like for you guys to sit back and chase that bag, get that bag, and share that bag without conflict and resolution. And just give us some insight on your promotional acronym, please.
Okay, I can tell you this. It's going to sound kind of funny coming from me, but I know nothing about promoting. what I do know about is if you put me in a room with 100 people and I don't know any of them, I'm gonna make a party happen. I'm gonna make it happen. And I was blessed with a brother who was about business. So while I was out there,
Freddie, I got to interject. Let me tell you something. That was part of the promotional game. I have a family member right now that to this day never sold one ticket, but he would chase them girls so many times that I knew that he would pass out damn near 1,000 flyers. He was the LD in the Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? He was.
I didn't say it was women.
No, I didn't say.
Hey, Sean, he didn't say.
No, Freddie, I didn't say Freddie, tell your significant other. I didn't say it was women either. I'm just saying he did. My family member.
No, but that was
Freddie,
it, man. I had
finish up, brother. Good.
I had the Gators was a crew before we started promoting. And that's all we did was just meet people all the time. We didn't know where we were going with this. That's all we used to do. I mean, they used to have the walkathon back in the days, and our numbers were so big in there. And when we ran into Daryl, I'm telling you, we were just doing little parties until Daryl showed us that you could really do something bigger and better. And he said something to us along those lines. But yeah, it was just me putting my personality out there, and Dwayne was serious business.
Yeah. Oh, can I say something about you, Fred? And like he said, he knows nothing about promotion. It doesn't matter. I will never forget when we first got together, whether it was parties, but I remember when our first craft fests, right? Show you how Freddie is so talented. Like you said, you always the center of attention, and your sister Keisha. Right? I remember our first trip. Keisha was such a hit that all of our Black and Gold family, when we was doing the next party trip, would ask us, is Keisha going to be there? Right. Is Keisha going to be there? At any party we do, Fred come in there and we'll just turn it out by himself. He ain't got to sell the ticket. He's going to turn your party out. And I will never forget that, Fred. Always loved it. Because your Francis family is one of the nicest families I've ever met. You know,
thank you.
From Mark and everybody else in the family.
Thank you for saying friendliest and not craziest.
They're crazy. Another life of the party.
Yo, listen. Yo, check this out. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I got my co-host with me tonight. A special co-host for me from Bruce Boyd and Freddie Francis in the building. We are celebrating these iconic promoters, Black and Gold, Daryl Hicks and Mike Greene. We got 8 minutes left. Carlos said, Daryl and Mike, tell them about the midnight to 4 a.m. food preparation, like a feed of a battalion military operation. That's out of our YouTube. Everybody, if you like what you hear right now, please subscribe to it on YouTube, share it on Facebook. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, a.k.a. the 4-Star General. Listen, I got Mike Greene, I got Daryl Hicks, I got Black and Gold, I got PNB, I got Bruce Boyd, I got Freddie Francis, I got Gator in the house. I had some legendary people time in the building. Yeah, there it is. That's the way you're supposed to represent it, baby. Let me tell you something. I got this dusty towel. I don't know where I found it. Malika, my wife found it somewhere, but it's still here, baby. It's still good for some sweat, baby. Gator in the house. You know what I'm saying? Listen, shout out to everybody that's watching it and chiming in. Shout out to all the promotional people that have patronized us, that have spent time with us, has grown fabulous with us. I'm not even gonna say because we are still here. Shout out to the people that we have lost. You know, we miss you dearly. You know, Rudy, Kevin Short, Kenny Dinkins, names that have come across our things. Even Lee Greene. You know, when he was trying to do his thing with El Dorado Entertainment. Shout out. You know, when you had MSG, his picture was up on the hallway. That was a beautiful thing. Daryl, Mike.
Yes,
before we let you go, before we let everybody go, you know, I have to do what I have to do. Real talk, Asway. Vaccine, pandemic, crazy. Daryl, will you take the vaccine?
Yes, matter of fact, I had my first shot today.
Absolutely. Mike Greene, what are you feeling?
I don't feel comfortable talking to you guys now. Not too close. You're too close to me right now.
I ain't mad at you, brother. Exactly.
But right now, My thought on it is I call myself waiting at the back of the line, which is kind of twofold. Hopefully more data comes in on results and reactions of people who've taken it. I'm a person who have underlying conditions, so that's why I'm not stepping up to the front of the line, but I'm not totally against it. I just want to wait and see, how this thing goes, and then I'll probably do my job or anything else, even though I'm essential. They don't mandate it. If they did, then I probably would just go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
But
Let me tell you something.
Back of the line.
Let me tell you something. First and foremost, I tell everybody out there, I've done some shows with some doctors and nurses. Go back to the Real Talk Chronicles pages and the things, you can see it. Freddie, would you take it? Yes or no?
Actually, I just signed up for it today. I wasn't willing to take it at one point. I was like Mike. I wanted to pause and see what was happening. And my woman, she participates in making sure people get the vaccine every Saturday and Sunday. Okay. And she told me she's in the Bronx site, and the line is mostly consists of people who are not us, white people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's a good sign. Like, yeah, this is gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce, you and I were essential employees at one time. We are not now. I'm glad. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And
thank you.
Would you take it?
I am not taking the vaccine, fellas. Not now. I just So listen, just real quick. I've never taken vaccines. My grandson is autistic. I don't know if you guys know the connection between autism and vaccines. Right. So my family, we all have a weird thing with vaccines. Now, I was COVID positive, by the way, y'all. Thankfully, I was asymptomatic. I had just lost my sense of smell for 5 days. My wife had a little bit for a couple of symptoms, nothing crazy, but I'm still not there with this vaccine yet. But what I think is going to happen, I don't believe that they can force us to take it, but they're going to make it where they're going to force you to take it. If it's going to be required for you employment, to travel, claims, I guess I can see myself getting it at one point, but I'm just not sold on a vaccine at this point.
And what's so funny? That's a beautiful thing. Thank you for saying that. And for me to be transparent, how dare me not ask a question that I won't give you my thought process on it. The bottom line is, I am like Mike and some others that I have some underlying conditions, and I got a doctor, I got some world-renowned doctors and nurses in my family, and I think Malika and I will take it eventually. We are watching and waiting to find out. I took the flu shot one time, and let me tell you something. I thought I was damn near going to die. It was the worst flu I've ever had. I am scared of that. My immune system, due to certain things in my life, is not as strong as others. So I kind of keeping my distance from that. But the bottom line is, what I've spoken to people in the medical field is that this is like progressive medicine per se. So listen, I'm sitting back right now waiting. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to take it. Like, I've had this conversation with Peter Shue a lot. I was going to bring Peter Shue on the thing because he is very instrumental in being a forthright person in knowledge. And him and I have talked on the sidelines about this, and Pete is totally against the vaccine and the 5G and all that. I mean, I wish he was on right now. I'd have brought him in and just chopped it up. But I just say all that to say that right now, my wife and I, we are kind of looking towards doing this because we're looking at the horizon more or less than looking at the sand dunes behind us. Now, let me just switch up to another thing, because this is Real Talk Chronicles. We saw an election. We've seen a change of guard. We've seen how society has shown their colors. Some have shown their colors in how they feel about people of color, just a people in period. You know what I'm saying? we got rid of an old administration that I was happy to see. I don't know if any of you voted for that. This is not really about Republican and Democrat to me. Some people will vote Republican just because. Some people are Trump supporters. I was neither nor. My father was a Republican, and I had no problem saying that, because the bottom line is he taught me how to vote for what was right and what was wrong. I say all that to say that right now we have a new administration in office, but we still have problems with law enforcement and dealing with people of color. We have right now, we saw a organization storm the Capitol, right? Something that we've never seen before in our lives. So I say to you, just give me your take on how you feel. And if you're not in that, and let me just say this to be fairness, this is who I am. But if you're not comfortable in really chopping it up like that, I respect that. But you know what? It's real talk, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with you, Freddie, and then I'll go to Bruce, and I'll go to Daryl, and I'll go to Mike. Freddie, what's your take on that, brother?
Yeah, that's cool. Let me jump in and get out of the way. There's a lot of things that's happening that you said this wasn't before. Supremacy or supremacy is showing its head in an ugly way. But I personally feel that all of this with QAnon and whatever they want to hide behind now, it has to happen. Change cannot happen without a fight. If someone is bullying you for 6 years of being in school, you must eventually have a confrontation or be bullied forever. And we have been the oppressed people on this planet for a long time, and I feel like it's coming to a head. I don't know if it'll be on the streets, but this is what needs to happen for change. You can't change. You can't hide and change. You have to come out first and then change. So I think this is what's necessary. We need to be talking about these things. In order for us to talk about them, they need to happen. So I'm satisfied with the way things are going. We're moving towards something.
Thank you. Bruce, what's your thought, brother?
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Freddie said, but this whole thing that happened with the Capitol. So you think about, from the Voters' Rights Act, the civil rights, everything that we've kind of been through and through our lives, through our parents and our grandparents' life, it hurts me to see us in the position that we are in today at this moment. Yeah. Never realized how bad it was. Even being 50 years old, I didn't think it was that bad until you see what has happened in the last 4 years. So I agree with Freddie when I say I don't think it could get any worse. Right. If it does, this is going to be scary. So this is a time where it's at its pinnacle. I would say it's at its, and change has to happen. Now the big question is, how is change going to happen? What is going to be? How are we going to connect these dots now? So now we have a new administration. I don't know if they have the answer to it, but there's a lot of work to be done. I believe we all agree that there are many layers to this. It's not just as simple as people think, but we've been through this 400 or 500 years, y'all. So now it's time, but we still got work to done to get to where we need to be.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Daryl, what's your take on it?
I think America is in a bad place. When you have 73 million people that voted on something that you had a report card on for 4 years. There was no shade in what this man did, and I would have done the same thing he did. If this what got me in office, why would I change? He told us to kill someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. He told you I could grab a woman by her crotch and get away with it. So why would I change if this is what got me here?
Absolutely.
And I just think we're in such a bad place that, wow, we thought it was going to be a blue wave. We thought this election would be a blue wave. And if it was a blue wave, you could sit back and say, hey, the people vote. The people done told you. but he had 73 million votes.
That's crazy.
Any other election, he wins. And I say this to Mike all the time. There's two reasons why he didn't win. If he does one or the other thing, he's still president. If he just would have told his people to get out and vote early, he's president. If he just would have said wear a mask, he's president. That's worth 8 million votes. He only lost by 8 million votes. Those two things alone would have got him 8 million. I'm not telling you if he just would have changed his political view. That's what we should be talking about. You should be talking about somebody's political view and stuff. No, we talking about him just saying wear a mask and telling his people to get out and vote early. That man is still in the president.
Absolutely.
We're in a bad place right now. I really think the United States is in a bad place.
Mike, your take on it?
Through all of this last election cycle, I've learned one thing that we got to do, and like Daryl keep talking about, he only lost by 8 million votes. We got to definitely organize and keep that good work up that Stacey Abrams and her people did that got us over the hump in Georgia and other places like in Arizona. And if we, participate in the electoral process, we can stop that negative Republican thing coming. Because one thing people don't realize, Trump was a bad man. He got the Republican Senate covering for him, and you got people like Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz who's auditioning to be the next Trump and could do it better because they're smarter. Trump was a fool and got over. You got to be able to vote these people out and to sit in the House, in the next 2 to 4 years, because there are people waiting in line auditioning to be the next Trump. They see what's going on in the insurrection in the Capitol and still won't vote him out because these guys want to beat Trump. So if we organize, like in every state, and you got what's the name in South Carolina, Jamie Harrison, who's now the chair of the Democratic Party, who pledged to do that kind of work. And we should tell our siblings, our children, our family members, register to vote, just register. And there's great things we could do in the future to come, because that's what scares me, the next Trump type person.
And see, this is one more thing, Bill, what I said to Mike too, because Mike work in the news, so Mike understands this. Go to Google and look up insurgents and look up coups. In any other country, if you have a failed insurgent or a failed coup, what happens to that person? They cut their head off, or else there's a plane waiting on the runway to get them out of the country and find a country that will accept them as an exile. Any other clue, any other country, any other insurgent, that's what happens when it's a failed coup.
Absolutely. Listen, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. We're more than just a party. We have knowledge. Everybody here has some kind of knowledge or professionalism in what's going on in the world, and we want to share that to you. Listen, I'm Real Talk Chronicles. I'm 4-star in general. But listen, the evolution of me is to try to come and give you some formative information. Mike Greene, I always thank you for your support. Daryl Hicks, I appreciate you, brother. You know that. Freddie Francis, man, it's good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. I apologize for having you cut. Bruce Boyd, you my dude, baby. Listen, before you go, everybody out there, like it, share it. Please let somebody know. Tomorrow, for all the people that are living in the tri-state area, I have Eric Adams, candidate for mayoral of New York City. He's going to be on a special edition of Real Talk Chronicles at 5 o'clock. If you got some questions, please chime in real quick. It's a short edition because he is on the move. He wanted to come back. I got some other people coming up. I had Alan Bragg. He's running for district attorney of Manhattan. He was on the show. I've done some shows on COVID. Please, if you subscribe to Real Talk Chronicles, go back. You will see what I've done. I'm trying to put in this work. I'm trying to be a vessel of information for you all. I'm trying to bring it all around the way, full circle. I got a chance to have my brothers on the show, a little Black History, our Black History Month little segment. You know what I'm saying? Like, give back to our people. Fellas, before we get out of here, Carlos said, good night, gentlemen. RIP with all those lost. Stay safe. That definitely. Thank you, Carlos S. Before we go, Freddie, give us some positive words of affirmation, whatever you want people to do going forward, some love, whatever you want to do, give some love, appreciation. Bruce, follow that. Mike, Daryl, you two will finish out. And then I will say good night. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Everybody, subscribe to it on YouTube, Facebook, share it. We got a Real Talk Chronicles Facebook page. We got a Real Talk Chronicles like page. Subscribe to it so you can keep abreast of what's happening. We had iconic promoters in the house tonight. We had Black and Gold, my brothers in the business. We had Gator in the house. We had PMB in the house. My co-host Freddie and Bruce joined in with a love fest for Black and Gold. Thank you to the Black and Gold family, Jay, everybody, all of you who chimed in and shout out. I saw you, Collins. This is a love fest for promotions that we have done all along the way. Everybody, I appreciate you. Freddie, give us some love and some affirmation. Bruce, Mike, and Daryl, take us out. Go ahead, Freddie.
No fear. Fear is the enemy. Fear is truly the enemy. All of these things that are happening right now are all designed to make us fear. Fear nothing. Nothing can destroy you before you're gone. Nothing can kill you before your time. Move through your life aggressively and fearless. Don't let the moment hold you back.
Thank you, Freddie. Bruce, give me some love, baby.
So I tell all my brothers and sisters out there, let this time of we know we have all have personal losses. We've lost family members due to this COVID, whatever the case may be. But we gotta let this time of us not being able to hug each other or do what we knew we used to do back in the days when we saw each other. Let this be a time of self-reflection. Let this be a time of self-healing. And know that or believe that there will be better days. This all will be behind us. This is all unprecedented. This is we have never been through anything like this. But I believe at some point, I am looking forward to the day where I can not have to do this, but be able to hug my brothers. So look forward to that. Love you much. Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Mike Greene.
As Bruce said, and I always tell people, all things shall pass. So stay strong, stay safe, mask up, sanitize, do what you got to do. I also want to say I love all you brothers that's on this panel today. I love my Black and Gold family, my Black and Gold staff who's listening in, and everybody else who participated tonight in Real Talk Chronicles. And I also want to send some love out to one of our brothers. We talked about a lot of promoters tonight. And I want to mention my man, Denny Moe. He had death in the family this week. Everybody who knows him, send him your love, give him your support. We all one family.
Right, absolutely. And let me tell you something. Shout out to Denny Moe. Denny Moe and I grew up together. Mike, let me tell you something. You're the Frankly Beverly and Mays of promotion. That beard is looking slamming, kid. Let me tell you something. Oh my God, boy. Let me tell you something. That beard is iconic. Your beard is killing the game, baby. I love it, man. In respect to that beard.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Daryl. Close us out, brother, and I'll finish it off with us.
Just to repeat what everyone else said, but we must keep washing our hands. We got to keep masking up. And folks, let's keep these gatherings down to your household, to your family. Let's try to come out on the other side of this, and we can all get together. Like Bruce said, it's been a long time since we could hug each other and just collaborate with each other. But if you go about it the wrong way, you may not be here for us to be able to do that again. And first and foremost, just want to say to all the people that's been taking this journey with us over this 30 plus years of promotion, I just want to thank you, because without y'all, there would be no Black and Gold. And to my staff, like Mike said, and definitely want to give a shout out to JC, my connection from Jersey, my Connecticut connection, Billy from Philly, my whole team that's been with us for most of this journey. And I just want to say thank you, because without y'all, it would be no Black and Gold. And like you say to my brother Demi Moe, keep your heads up. We all got hurt hearts for you, and you have our condolences. Be strong, brother.
Or shout out to Denny Moe. Denny Moe, I'm gonna reach out to you. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill 4-Star. From promotional side, I'm the 4-Star General, 4-Star Entertainment. I got P&B in the building. I got Gator in the house. And of course, the celebration of the night was Black and Gold, Daryl Hicks and Mike Greene. I am your host, Bill Forster. Please, if you like it, subscribe to it. The hardest thing that I've ever done was do some positive stuff, and I enjoy it. And I think this is my calling to give information, to be informative in all facets of journalism right now is what I'm doing right now. Mike, thank you, always supporting me. Daryl, Bruce, Freddie, I'm Real Talk Chronicles, baby. But I'm gonna take y'all out on some love right now. We're gonna go out. This is the way we're gonna party out this way. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, man. Because we came in partying, we're gonna go out partying.
No, if it was up to Freddie, we'd be like, we don't need no music.
Freddie, my bad. I didn't want to play that for, but hold on. But we're gonna go out on this one. This is what it is. Yeah. Because we're party people.
Oh, Bruce is taking it up. Oh,
you know, we get a little older. It's just the arms now. I be tearing it up on the arms. Skater. Let you go. Daryl, put that hat on him.
Yeah. Black and Gold family. Barbara King, everybody. Bruce. Everybody.
Love you guys. Yeah, that's what it is. Yo, that is it, baby. That was powerful.
I got.
Yo, hold on. We're offline. We're offline.